Alright guys, I'm here today at Aaron Palmer from Low and Slow Basics. He's a black belt at barbecue, has a wild range of products. He started as a butcher, worked his way into YouTube, and now he just runs the scene. It's a good chat. He teaches me how to make jalapeno poppers, alright? I felt like the new kid in a trial class, and he was the black belt, he was the sensei. Aaron was daddy today. I hope you enjoy this. So mate, we're in the Master BBQ Kitchen. Right, you're the black belt of Australian barbecue.
I've never had that before.
Well, I had known nothing about barbecuing, and I've known our mate Pete's, and I used to see your stuff on his social media a lot.
Yep.
And that dude's a wild cook.
Like, oh, big inspiration. Yeah, shout out Peeps. He's a gun cook.
You still have to get me around for a feed, mate. You promised me years ago. But you know, him and then one of my boys at work, Adam McGuinness, he's raved about your stuff for years. There's a few other lads at work, you know, they all into barbecuing. Me, I can't even cook. Like, if you put me at Bunnings, I wouldn't even be able to cook sausage. You're a butcher by trade.
Yep.
How did all this come about?
I guess it was from the butchering background. Like, that started when I was in year 11. I'd done a school-based apprenticeship as a butcher, and started out as a clean-up boy. And they offered me a job because I was doing good, I guess. And got into butchering. And in the trade, it's changed quite a bit since what I used to do. It used to just be all about butchering, but they actually teach you a lot about cooking as a butcher as well. I guess because you're selling meat to a customer, and you probably should know how to educate them on how to cook it. And that was a big passion of mine as well. So what started out in the kitchen progressed to a gas barbecue and to all the different sort of style barbecues you see here. So yeah, it definitely all stemmed from the butchering background. And I did do a lot of cooking at home with mum. She always sort of got me in the kitchen, and I really enjoyed cooking. One of my only subjects in school where I got A's in, and that was home ec. So always loved cooking, and
Yeah, that's cool. With like, you started the YouTube, it must have been a trip. Like, I've seen you go and do barbecue competitions. I saw, I think me and you actually connected with Pete's tagging me to try and connect you with Volks.
Yeah.
That must have been wild, all of a sudden, just sort of doing this as, like, I guess it started as a hobby, and then all of a sudden you're getting to go interstate, barbecue competitions, your products have been all over.
Yeah, it's been a crazy journey, like nothing I ever would have envisioned. I did start it as a hobby just to share knowledge. Everything I've done in life, whether it's been in sports, butchery, I've loved like helping the apprentices, sharing the knowledge that I've got, and that's where it all started from. Once the barbecue thing sort of became a hobby of mine, I wanted to share that knowledge, and that started out in probably the worst YouTube videos you could ever imagine. I was like behind the camera with my phone vertically, and it was just like text on the screen. But as everything I do, like, I want to make everything like better than the last, and that sort of relates to my videos. I just want to make each video better than the last, and now I'm pretty happy with my videos. I've still got heaps to learn, but yeah. And then I guess from barbecue, the people I've been able to meet, the brands I work with, traveling over the world, like went to Texas last year to compete in the World Championships.
Yeah, no shit.
Got to meet people like Volk at Meat Stock, and just heaps of other great influencers, cooks, and just really good people. Like, this is how we've met through barbecue, and it's just amazing. And there's so much more to come. Like, even the opportunity to go on like national TV on My Kitchen Rules last season, like, that just started with an Instagram message to my inbox from one of the scouts, and we ended up getting through and getting on the show, and that was a crazy experience as well, thanks to sort of what I created and started as a hobby.
That would have been bizarre. Like, was the whole setup they would have had with the cameras, how professional, and you know, like on TV.
Yeah.
Like, was that a long process? Was that like weeks or?
Yeah, I reckon it was around 4 months total to film that season, and the production is mind-blowing. Apparently they spend something like $100,000 a day on production. Like, the place that we'd done it in, like my teammate Chris in Sydney, we'd done it at his house because I was moving houses at the time. And they took up about 4 of his bedrooms just with like a sound room, a picture room, like a food porn room where the plates go in and they get like the nice photos and pictures and stuff like that. And then they've got like a massive like generator that is transported on a truck that has to power everything, and then you've got all the cameras and like everything, like spare batteries, recharges. Like it was mind-blowing. All the lights, there's about 8 people with cameras all around you. And
oh wow.
Yeah, what goes into it, being able to see it from the outside in was mind-blowing, what it takes to put a show like that together.
Was there a lot of nerves doing, like, you know, obviously you probably can do this with your eyes closed when it's just you, but knowing that it's going to be on TV with an entire set of camera or crew and everything like that?
I wouldn't say nerves, I definitely felt the pressure, but I love working under pressure. I reckon that's where my best work happens, like pushing yourself, and I think we've done really good. Obviously it's really hard when you've got producers there trying to get you to talk the whole time, when a lot of the time you just wanted to put your head down and get it done, but you got producers there sort of asking you questions, you got a lot of distractions, a lot of cameras in your face, but it was a good experience, really pushed our boundaries, and I love continuing to grow as a person and sort of growing my skill set as well.
Do they encourage any banter or like bickering and stuff like that?
Yeah, definitely. I don't think I can speak too much on it, but yeah, they definitely poke you. And it's drama. Like, it's a reality TV show at the end of the day. I didn't really ever watch it, so I actually thought we were signing up to more of a cooking show, but there was a lot more drama than I anticipated on it. So the producers know how to sort of inflict the drama.
Yeah, they love it, eh?
They do.
I mean, we all like watching it at home. So.
I didn't so much. But
when you mentioned working with apprentices, like one thing, I'm a tradie, we love giving the apprentices a hard time. What's that like in butchery? Like, do the young lads cop it a fair bit?
They used to. Like, butchers were the worst back in the day, but like, I guess when I was an apprentice, that's when a lot of the like OH&S stuff started coming in. HR were really aware of it, so I was pretty lucky as an apprentice. I didn't really cop it, and I didn't really push my apprentices too much either, or prank them or whatever you want, because you could get sacked for even just calling someone the wrong names.
Don't say this. Some of the apprentices might get some ideas about reporting me.
But yeah, the stories I heard like back in the day from some of the old school butchers, like, I would have hated to be an apprentice back then.
Yeah, actually, my older cousin, she left high school and she became a butcher, and then her partner was as well. And some of the stories you used to hear, like, they worked at a couple in Marion and then down at Brighton, and it seemed like a pretty interesting place to learn a trade, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
With you growing your YouTube and your presence online, where you're at now compared to where you started, like, I've asked you a bunch of questions, you've been super helpful towards me, but like, you know, my YouTube feed is full of cooking shows, right? And I don't cook. I cook spaghetti, bolognese, and toasted sandwiches maybe, you know what I mean? So for people out there, like, there's obviously a lot of stuff online. How did you separate yourself from what is already out there? There
was no real strategy to it. I get asked this question a lot, and it's as simple as I just make videos in a way that I would like to be taught myself. There's no crap in there. I don't try and harp on for too long or fill it with heaps of B-roll. It's just to the point, the stuff I think that you need to know to be able to recreate it yourself. And that's as simple as my videos are. And I think the way I do it, anyone can do it. And I also want to prove that to you today, because you said you're not much of a cook. No. We've got some stuff here. I'd love to show you how to make one of the most classic barbecue sort of side dishes, the jalapeno popper. And you never know, this could be the start of something for you.
This could be it, mate, yeah.
All right, so I've got green jalapenos. The first thing we're going to do, we're going to slice this straight in half. We're going to leave the stem on. So straight in half like this. And then we're going to expose the membrane and the seeds in there. And then we've got a teaspoon here. The next thing we want to do, the membrane's a bit bitter and the seeds are where all the heat is. And I know you're a bit sensitive to spice, and I can be too. Jalapenos vary in sort of spice levels. So what we want to do is just get our teaspoon and we want to get under that membrane, and we just want to work the membrane and those seeds out. And we're essentially going to create a little boat. And you can fill your jalapeno halves with anything you want, any of your favourite fillings. We're just going to keep it simple with some cream cheese, and then we'll wrap it in bacon. But I love using like the sweet chili Philly cream cheese.
Yeah.
You can mix any leftover sort of brisket, pulled meat, sausage. You can wrap them in prosciutto. I've wrapped them in turkey bacon, but we're just going to keep it simple with some streaky bacon. But yeah, the beauty about jalapeno poppers is you can get as creative as you want with them. And if you're really, really sensitive to spice, you can sort of do the same thing with some capsicums as well.
So anytime I'm feeling a bit adventurous, I'll get jalapenos on the Subway, eh?
Oh, yeah. Very adventurous. All right, and then once you've created your little jalapeno boats, we can start working some cream cheese into it. So I'll start with about probably 2 teaspoons there, and we're simply just gonna work that cream cheese into our jalapeno boats. So you can use the same teaspoon if you want. Just gonna press that in, and that big sort of 2 teaspoons should fill up both jalapenos nicely.
This is mad, eh? I can get used to this, eh? It's just, you know what it is? It's the cleaning up after that I hate.
We've got some toothpicks ready. You can do these in the oven, the air fryer, but we're going to be smoking them hot and fast today. There's no point doing anything else in barbecue, since that's sort of where this has all led to.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Right, and then we'll just simply get our jalapeno and roll that bacon around it. And then we've got our toothpicks here, which are hard to pick up. You just sort of want to go through your bacon, through the jalapeno, and that's going to hold our bacon on just like so. Then you can add any of your favourite seasonings. If you want to go like a little bit of sweet on top to sort of counter the savouriness of the bacon and the cream cheese. You can add any sort of dipping sauces after they're cooked. These are such a good like little party snack. And we'll put a bit, it's got some nice sweet and savoury flavours, just a light dusting of one of my barbecue rubs on there.
Which one's that?
That's the steak shooter.
Oh, and if I'm right, Reels designed that one back in the day, right? Is that the logo?
So the logo, Reels was the OG designer for that, and he's just done the shirts.
He's a talented prick, isn't he?
Oh, he's unreal. And efficient as well.
Yeah.
Like, you go to him and you think, oh yeah, give it a few weeks or whatever. He'll come back like the next day sometime. He's like, yeah, this is done.
Yeah, no, he's
super efficient.
He's fast. I don't ever like to encourage him too much, but he is bloody good at it.
Yeah.
What he does.
No, so I definitely will get him doing some more stuff, especially with the merch. It's crazy. Like, another very talented SA guy. Like, SA is so underrated for the talent that's here. And I think by doing this, like, you're just going to continue to expose so much of it.
What am I doing here? Oh, there we go.
There we go. Got to give it a bit of a shake sometimes. And then there's some smoking wood here. This is some nectarine wood. Really good all-rounder. You can use anything like cherry, apple, even something like a bourbon barrel oak.
Oh, no shit.
This will leave like a nice sort of sweeter smoke in there. So we'll just come over to the barbecue.
So I've heard about all this sort of stuff, but I had never actually knew what any of it was for, right?
Yeah, so we've got some briquettes in there. They're nice and hot. We'll get our smoking wood straight on the fire. Get our cooking grate on, and then we're going to be cooking these indirect. So if you want to grab your two, we're just going to get these around the outside of our charcoal basket. So we're not going to burn them by cooking direct over the charcoal. So these are going to sit wherever. I've got some chicken wings we're going to get on as well.
I feel like Huey from Huey's Cooking Adventure, eh?
Just gonna quickly chuck a glove on for the chicken.
Look at that, eh? See, that's why I had to have the glasses on, because I've already gone to touch my eyes.
Oh!
Yeah.
And then like this cooking method is perfect for anything you want to cook. Hot and fast, indirect. You don't really have to worry too much about it burning very quickly because it's not direct over any charcoal. You still do have to keep an eye on it because you are cooking at like sort of 230 Celsius, so it is still hot, but you're not going to burn anything within the first few minutes if it's direct over any heat.
Already, right? Like when I cook a barbecue, wherever the flame is, that's where I'm putting the meat, eh?
Yep. So that's a good method if you want to still do something hot and fast. Yeah, like funny story with my ex-neighbour, like when I first moved into that place, moving some stuff, my old man was helping me, and the neighbour pulls up in his ute, and he's like, "Hey, you go," and he's, "Oh, wow, Aaron, like, what the hell? I watch your YouTube videos. I didn't even realise you lived in like South Australia." And because I'm always cooking so much barbecue, like I'll cook a 9-10 kilo brisket sometimes, and that only goes so far with like a small family. So I'll either vac seal it, give it to family and friends. And he ended up being a very happy man because most of that leftover meat, I ended up like taking over for him, and he'd feed his family with it. Like I remember a few times I'd have a roast pork and we'd only have a couple of kilos of it, and then the other 2 kilos I'd just take over at dinner time for him. And yeah, it's just crazy how small the world is, especially Adelaide.
Yeah, everybody, you can't get away with anything here. Everybody knows everybody.
Definitely.
But there is a good community of, you know, people that link up, and everybody helps. You know, we all try and help each other as much as we can. Like, you know, even like I was listening to you on Sav's podcast, and you know that was cool because it's like all of a sudden there's another connection. You know. Peeps, like all the guys at work, Cookie, Reels with your logo. Yeah. It's all quite interesting, but with all these rubs and the sauces, you got into cooking from being a butcher, and then you moved on to YouTube filming. You've got all of these products now. You got that absolutely delicious beef jerky. You didn't put a ceiling on anything from the sounds of it, and you've just progressed like quite fluidly, gone wherever it takes you. Was that always the plan?
Yeah, I guess so. Like I've never been afraid of a challenge. I've always wanted to see where things go when I put my like 100% into it. And yeah, now we've got the 7 rubs, the barbecue sauce, the jerky, and there's lots of other things in the works. Like love to do a collab sort of barbecue, or even release my own range of barbecues in the future. There's some stuff I've got in the works with Victorinox knives. They're probably one of the biggest knife companies in the world. They make over 120,000 knives a day. They're a brand I've used for 20 years throughout my whole butchery career. And even things like when you've sort of suggested some stuff and then linked me up with like Nicky Rod to do a potential jerky collab. Like if we can make that happen, that would be huge as well. So yeah, definitely never put a ceiling on anything. Always happy to see where things go, and you never know what could happen when you put your mind to something.
Do you have much of a following in the States? Like you said you went over to Texas for the World Championships.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that would be a hard market to break into, especially as an Australian. But like your stuff is so good, like I can't imagine how it couldn't, you know?
Yeah, I guess like barbecue can be very seasonal. So when it's like prime barbecue time in America, that sort of far out, that grows to about 30% of my YouTube audience sometimes.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, there was quite a few people who recognised me over there. A couple of dudes from Germany and Spain sort of said, "Oh, watch your videos, rah rah." And yeah, when I first started out, you'd sort of get a bit of constructive criticism from some of the Texans especially. But these days, because I've been doing it for so long and I put out some what I think is pretty good content, a lot of them is like, "I'm from Texas and I approve of you, Australian man," sort of thing. Yeah, it's been crazy to see how much America's actually gravitated towards my videos. And again, I think that's just because I put them out in a way they're easy to learn, they're not full of crap, and anyone can sort of follow them.
Yeah, no, it's like I said, I'm not into not a cook by any stretch, and the few meals that I can make, they're not too
technical,
interesting. Yeah. But I watch a lot of cooking stuff on YouTube, and like I feel like Action Bronson's probably to blame a little bit for that. But yeah, like it's so interesting watching it how it'll work, and like even the bloody sound when you cut into some of those. I couldn't tell you what they are, but like the crackling stuff. It's mouth-watering, eh?
Oh man, yeah, it's unreal. And the content creators are only getting better, like the audio and the visuals and everything. It's only getting more like salivating watching it, sort of thing.
Not a good thing to watch when you're hungry.
Oh yeah, definitely not. You don't want to watch that as like the last thing you do before you go to bed.
No, not at all. Which tends to be when I watch it.
Same.
Moving on from like what you've got now, have you got like are you a goal setter? Do you have like some long-term goals? You don't have to share any of that sort of stuff. Keep I know you don't want to. Nobody wants to say what they're gonna do too far out. But is that something that you do?
Not so much. I used to try and set goals, but I hate putting numbers on things. And as you have probably seen, like social media can fluctuate so much. One month you think, oh my God, I'm going to be like blowing up soon. And then the next month, like it just fluctuates so much. I learned not to put goals, especially on that stuff. And there's always so much changing. Like your focus might shift away from a goal you thought was really a good one to focus on. And then something else might pop up that becomes more of a priority. So I guess for me, it's just always making each video better than the last, pushing the boundaries with like releasing products I think people will like, jerkies, rubs, sauces, and just continuing to get better in every aspect of the business I've built.
No, that's cool. That's cool to know. Like I grew up listening to Rogan, and he'd always be like, you got to write everything down, write it down on pen and paper, and not that I've ever really done that sort of thing, but I'd entertain it, and then 6 months later I'd find it and I'd be like, fuck, I didn't do any of that, eh?
Yeah.
So like I like to just, as unprofessional, not that I think I'm a professional, but I like to just wing everything. So whether it's when I'm coaching, I have a plan as what I want to teach, and that might change depending on who's in the class. M16 Open, we've literally winged it, and we just did our 13th show on the weekend, which I saw you were in the live stream in the comments. And for me, I like to just go with the flow a little bit, and to hear you talk about where you started without necessarily having, you probably would have been like, fuck, I hope this makes it, that'll be killer, but at the same time you just sort of rode the wave. It's good to know you don't always have to have the journal and the 100 dot points and the crossing.
Definitely not. There's so much out of your control that can take it away or fuel your goals. Like the YouTube thing, I think I was pretty lucky in the sense that it was blowing up around the time COVID happened, so everyone was sort of inside watching TVs, and that's when it really blew up. The cost of living can really affect like rub sales and stuff. So if you're setting yourself a goal, I want to sell this amount, and then the cost of living is too high, like you're probably not going to achieve that goal. I don't know. I don't like putting numbers on things. If you're passionate about it and you want to do it, and then it's going to be what it's got to be. But I guess at the same time, you've got to be financially responsible as well. Yeah, for sure. Otherwise, I would quit my job and just do jiu-jitsu. Then I wouldn't get paid. Yeah, and I was doing this for like a good 3 or 4 years before I was able to take it on full time as well. It wasn't just like I'm all in. If it works, good. If it fails, like I'm stuffed. Like there was a plan in that sense. But and I guess my backup plan was I'd just go back to working for someone else. But
well, that's a good thing about having a trade, I guess. You get your trade behind you, and then you can go off and chase other things. And if you have to, it drags you back.
Yeah, definitely.
So I had a few questions sent in. I put up a thing today, and there was one fella from the gym who said if he gives you a whole deer, will you cook it for him? All right, which is, I know the fella, he does hunt a lot of deer, right? One of the boys asked about your next rub.
Yep.
Was it, rub?
Yeah.
You said that's dropping soon?
I'm gonna turn the label away from the camera, but we've got it here. So I'm going to be announcing this very soon. Even maybe by the time this video is released, people will know a bit more about it. But this will be the 7th barbecue rub, something very unique. Very happy with it. Yeah, bit of herby, citrusy.
That's good because I know what it is, and I won't tell Adzi what it is.
Yeah, it should drop mid-November and be good in time for Christmas. Summer barbecuing, it's going to really complement that sort of summer barbecue. It's going to be good on fish, chicken, pork, anything really, but it's going to be especially good on white meats. Yeah,
no shit. Nice. And the other question that caught my eye was, because I'm a fan of eating kangaroo, best way to cook it, prepare it. If you got any advice for anybody on
I guess kangaroo's a hard one because it's so lean. Like, you typically don't cook it low and slow. The steaks are really well suited to hot and fast, and again, because it is so lean, you want to serve it more on the rare side. If you cook it at medium well, it's just going to go tough and dry out.
Okay, yeah.
More often than not. Kangaroo tail, you can do. I haven't done it myself. I want to catch up with Cookie and do one.
Oh yes.
But yeah, you can barbecue them sort of low and slow and get good results. But yeah, the majority of the mussels, really hard working. They're an active animal, very lean, and you want to be serving them on the rare side, just like if you're working with like topside or round beef. So yeah.
Okay, that's interesting the way you said that then, because you look at being a butcher, you would know so much about the meat, and then even knowing how an active animal is going to be different to a cow in the field eating grass.
Yeah, and that did give me a good head start with the whole barbecue thing, was the butchery background, especially when it came to competition barbecue, like trimming a brisket and slicing and all that, and just knowing how to use a knife properly. Like, I used one every day for 10 years. Just having those knife skills just gave me a good head start when I did get serious about barbecue, and especially like the competition barbecue as well. I was able to absorb it all in a way it really made sense to me because I understood the animal and just sort of had to learn the cooking techniques, I guess.
No, it's a whole different side of it that, I mean, I couldn't even tell you what was in a sausage. I probably wouldn't. I don't know if I'd want to know, but
they're not that
bad. You've got a bunch of different barbecues here. The one I've got sits under a tree. It's filthy.
Yeah.
What's the difference between the different styles? Like,
they're all
small ones and some big ones.
I always say find a barbecue that suits your lifestyle. So if you like playing with fire, get something like an offset or something that uses like real split woods. And that's where you're using like log splits like down there to fuel your fire. You've got to spend a lot more time managing that fire and making sure it's stable, and your temperatures are going to fluctuate a lot more. Or if you're time poor, you've got kids, but you still want to enjoy barbecue, something like a pellet smoker, where you can literally turn it on, select the temperature, and that's going to control it all for you. If you want something sort of in between, the drums are a great option. They're very efficient, very versatile, and they will run like all night and just stay at the same temperature once you dialed it in, and you still get that really good flavour because you do run it on briquettes, and you can use your smoking wood with it as well. Yeah. Like same with the Kamado, very similar to these in terms of versatility and efficiency and how good they run. If you like open fire sort of cooking or something like that, or the old faithful Weber kettle, they can do it all as well. But again, they are sort of thinner steel and they will fluctuate and can be harder to use. But like I said, I always just recommend just analyse your lifestyle and get a barbecue to suit that, because the last thing you want to do is get an offset smoker when you're time poor and you've got to like fight the temperatures all day and always have to put log splits on every 20, 30, 40 minutes and have kids running around. You probably want to get a pellet smoker, but each to their own. Everyone's going to be in a different situation, so
no, it's interesting because I didn't. To me, I used to see the old boy go out on Christmas morning early with the turkey in the Weber, and then it would just be snags and steak on the barbecue with some onions maybe. Yeah,
it's usually the way.
Yeah,
might actually check what we've got in the barbecue,
Yeah. Damn.
So we obviously want that chicken to get nice and crispy. Want it to be at a safe internal temperature of at least 74 degrees Celsius. And then the jalapenos, the beauty about them, you don't really have to put too much of a time on them. just take them until the jalapenos are softened a bit and that bacon is crisped up, which they're definitely on the way there.
I might have to give it a go, eh?
Oh, we'll get you
Just
around with
jump in,
peeps one day and get you physically doing it, and we'll just be there for emotional support.
Get the gloves on.
Yeah, definitely.
Around peeps, that's always concerning.
He loves it.
Do you ever cook anything like, while we're on the topic of peeps, I saw him, it looked like a paintbrush with a duck one time.
Yeah.
And like, do you ever cook anything kind of, I don't know if that's out there, to me it looked pretty strange, especially like we know how good a cook Peeps is. He's full of surprises.
Yeah.
And I seen him out there painting, looked like he was painting a duck one day, and I was like, what the hell is that?
Doing the Peking duck.
Okay, yeah, cool. I thought that was banned. But do you ever mess around with anything like that? Or? Yeah,
I guess there's so much people don't see. Like, I cook every night for the family, and the majority of it's in the kitchen. Like, it's sad to say, and people are probably going to hate me for it. Like, when I've been smelling a brisket all day, or I do a bunch of videos, I don't even feel like it at the end. Like, you've been smelling something all day, and that smoke and the brisket and the rendering fat can sort of get a bit off-putting if you've been doing it all day. So the majority of my cooking is actually inside in the kitchen. But nothing like Peeps really pushes the boundaries. I haven't done things like Peking duck like he has. There's a lot of time that goes into that, the preparation and everything. I want to do it. Do a lot of things like beef cheeks and messing around with like pressure cookers and doing like birria tacos and a lot of sort of like Asian-y and Mexican style flavours I love the most. But yeah, Peeps is definitely one to push the boundaries and try something he's always wanted to do or seen, and he'll try and like recreate it, and he normally nails it.
He's like an in shape Adelaide Action Bronson.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Yeah, he should probably do his own thing just with like general home cooking, because that dude's a gun in the kitchen.
Yeah, he makes me look bad.
Makes me look bad sometimes too. That's why I stick to the barbecuing mostly when I'm around him. Like, you can handle the rest. Even though the bloke can barbecue, he can do it all. He can do it all.
Yeah, he's a talented man.
He is. He helped me with, so I've got the nearly 7 rubs. With the honey soy and the lamb layup one, we sort of co-developed that one just because he wanted to get involved. And they're 2 cracking rubs that are not like really anything we've seen on the market. So he was a big help with a couple of the rubs, and always floating ideas around. And like I've said before, he's a big inspiration as well.
Is there anybody out there, you know, whether they've got a YouTube channel or athlete or, you know, anything that you'd love to like collab with?
Yeah, for sure. I'd love to do something with Malcolm Reed over in America, in the States. He was probably one of the biggest sources of my inspiration, especially when I was starting out, especially in terms of how he structures his videos. They are very to the point, no bullshit in them, very well put together. Another one would be Volk, especially now he's getting into a lot of cooking. The Cooking with Volk series is taken the world by storm.
It's so good, eh?
And it looks like the place he's got now in the country. He's got his own cattle out there, got a lot of produce out there, doing a lot of camp cooking. Would love to do a collab with him. The Nicky Rod thing, I'd love to do that. There's heaps. There's some amazing creators out there, especially here in Australia. And there's even one still in Adelaide. Like, there's a bloke called, his Insta and YouTube is Chef Jack Ovens. I've just touched my eye after the jalapeno. He's got like 1.3 million subscribers on YouTube, and he's just in Unley. Like,
no shit.
Massive creator. I'm hopefully doing something with him either this coming Thursday or the fortnight after. Like, there's still so much talent in Adelaide that we don't know about, and one of the biggest YouTube channels in Australia, like, especially for cooking. So probably the Nicky Rods, the Volks, the Malcolm Reed, and Jack, which will hopefully happen soon.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah, well, hopefully, we can get Volks down Adelaide.
Definitely.
He'd come for a train.
Yeah.
And come for a cook.
He's keen. He said he's keen, but man, he is busy. Like, the things he seems to be doing, like with the motocross, going over to Abu Dhabi recently, his own content, like, so he's been doing stuff with, like, done a collab with like Clayton's World. Yeah,
I've seen that, eh? Yeah.
So no, he's a busy man, and his social media guy and cameraman, Jakey Ryan, I think is on Instagram. Amazing, like videographer and editor. If he's doing the editing, yeah, they're keen to make it happen. I'll be in Sydney in a couple of weeks, so I'll reach out to them, see if they're free around that time.
Yeah.
I'm only free for like a day either side of the masterclass I'm going over for. So
travel down to the Gong, mate, and cook up.
Yeah, it'd be cool. I doubt they'll be free for it. Like their schedule is just crazy at the moment, and if he's going to be involved in UFC in February, he's probably going to be thinking about getting into camp.
Yeah, I've seen a few rumours about that, and I did try and squeeze my brother for some information the other day, but he would not tell me.
No,
so,
that's fair enough. We'll find out soon. I've booked my flights and accommodation, just waiting for tickets to release, and
so
hopefully we can get hold of some.
Well, yeah, big UFC fan, eh?
Yeah, definitely. Always loved it back, like the Chuck Liddell days. Like he was just crazy to watch. So
the man, eh?
Yeah. No, I went to not the last Perth one, the one before where Volk fought Islam.
Yeah.
And that was an insane fight to witness in person. Like that was crazy.
Oh, dude, yeah. Well, I was there with Sav and the M16 boys, and that weekend took years off my life. But that was a wild. When that fight finished, I could have sworn he'd done it.
Yeah.
And
I shed a couple of tears actually. I looked over at my mate and he was too. Like
this is how much of a gangster Volks is though, right?
Yeah.
Like we were lucky enough to ride the brothers' coattails to get into the after party, right? And Sav was somewhat quite well behaved in there.
Doesn't sound like him.
I know, right? And I went up and had because I trained with Volks twice before, and which it looks quite funny because he's only a little fella. Yeah. But we had a chat, and I was like, dude, I fucking thought you did it, eh?
Yeah.
And he's such a gangster. He just goes, I should have done more.
Yeah.
There wasn't any excuses. Nothing. And there wasn't any salt or I thought I did it. It was I should have done more. And I think that says a lot about a man's character.
Yeah. One more minute left in that final round, man. I reckon he would have put him away.
It still hurts, and he hasn't fought since.
Yeah. Hasn't been himself since, but hopefully with a good.
He hasn't fought since.
He hasn't. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Not bad. But hopefully with a bit of time off, he'll come back and just start dominating again, I reckon.
Well, they're talking about him and Diego Lopez.
Yeah, for an interim.
For the interim, or
Topuria ain't going to turn back around that quick, I don't think.
No.
But you never know if he wants to break out into that superstardom. That's the type of thing you got to do, like Alex Pereira. Yeah, I reckon this barbecue's ready anyway. Let's fucking have a crack, eh? Have a look. Yeah. So what do we got here, mate? Got some chicken wings, jalapeno poppers, which you've made yourself. Got some barbecue sauce and then some nice local ranch dressing from Bierenberg.
I feel like you've been the black belt at barbecue. This is like me in the trial class. You know what I mean? I've just learned a basic technique, and yours look better.
Something to build off, man. It's a good start. They look bloody picture perfect, in my opinion.
Unreal.
Especially for a first timer.
Wow. All right. So where do we get started?
Man, that cheese, you want to let your jalapeno poppers cool down a bit because that's just going to be like lava in there. But grab a chicken wing if you want. If you're a barbecue sauce man, got that. Or some ranch. These are still going to be hot.
Little cheers. Oh my God. And what did you have on this? One of your rubs?
A bit of the honey soy rub and then a bit of the garlic goes over the top. Good combo for wings and pork, and especially wings. I love it on wings.
Man, that's delicious, eh?
Easy.
Man.
Cheers, man.